Well, Charlie, we last talked to you just before harvest, and now we're just done with harvest. Why don't you talk a little bit about how the vintage went since early September when we talked to you last?
Okay, well, the month of September, I don't think we could have asked for any better weather. It was almost perfect for the month. You know, every day just beautiful, and what that really did was enable just about everything to get, you know, pushed ahead and really on the ripe side, especially with the Merlot fairly early. So I would say we're probably a week to 10 days ahead most of September, and great acidity, you know, retained in the grapes themselves, which was sort of alarming for some people, but having had a few vintages under my belt, really could see that that was a great thing. And so that part of it sort of reminded me of 1999, where we saw a lot of you know, very ripe, you know, kind of fruit, but a lot of you know, natural acid kind of retained in the grapes. Once October got here, things changed a little bit. We had some rain and not as many nice days, but the ripeness of most everything in just about all areas was far enough along that that little change in the weather didn't really affect things very much. If anything, with Cabernet, which we're very focused on now, it gave us more time to just let the cab kind of get some hang time and some better flavor development. And if we did have some higher acidity, the acid sort of respired off the grapes, and things worked out well. We picked things into the last week in October, which I know a lot of people didn't, but we have a lot of mid to late season ripening Cabernet, so it's not unusual for us to do that. And also same sort of thing with Malbec, you know, kind of let it hang out there a little bit longer as well to get the flavors we were looking for.
You talked about acid, and that's something that we hear from all the winemakers in Washington this year, that they're very excited about the high acidity, and it kind of harkens back to some of the earlier vintages in Washington.
Yeah, it does, especially when that acid is naturally in the grapes. And for people that don't have a lot of experience, what you usually see after you go through secondary fermentation, malolactic, you get a big swing. So what might seem as a very high acid actually turns out to almost be just a perfect spot for acid in the way it would be, you know, where it needs to be. So really, you know, it's unusual for it to happen, and I think it says a lot about the possibility of, you know, a really great vintage.
You get grapes from the Horse Heaven Hills, Walla Walla Valley, Red Mountain, I presume,
right?
Wallook Slope, Yakima Valley. You're really all over the Columbia Valley appellation. Why don't you talk a little bit about why you go to such a wide range of areas and how that helps with your winemaking?
Well, I do get grapes from several different appellations, and with my background being in the 90s basically with Chateau Saint Michel, that's sort of what we did at Saint Michel, so I feel very comfortable pulling grapes from a lot of different areas. I almost look at it as if I were a chef pulling different, you know, using different spices in a dish to make it more interesting. Sometimes great vineyards sort of show themselves to be, you know, great on their own, but at times, you know, maybe 3 or 4 vineyards blended together can be more interesting than the sort of one-dimensional flavors you can get from one vineyard itself. And then, to be real honest about it, I do it because, you know, we can get cold weather occurrences in Washington where if I have only an estate vineyard or fruit coming from only one appellation, then I might lose the whole vintage. This gives me a little more diversity in my grape sourcing, and because of that, then when we have cold weather occurrences like 2004, I have other places within the Columbia Valley appellation to get fruit from. And so and now that with our home on Red Mountain, we're going to start focusing a little bit more attention on fruit from Red Mountain itself. And as more fruit comes online, there'll be more of a chance for us to go out and buy fruit. That's been one of the things. The fruit from Red Mountain is so great that everybody wants it, and so it's in short supply to the wineries itself. So as that sort of opens up, we'll probably do a little bit more focus on Red Mountain, and then of course we hope to plant our own vineyard here on Red Mountain and have an estate Cabernet from Red Mountain itself. So
we got a decent little crowd here in the tasting room. I presume that's going pretty well for you since you opened in June.
Yeah, we're really pleasantly surprised by the amount of traffic we get. Wine tourism seems to really have taken things to a different level. On the weekends, we just see a sort of a constant flow of people in the tasting room. We're still open every day. We have people here working anyway, and so I'm always surprised on a Tuesday or Wednesday we'll get a little group of people coming through, and they're pleasantly surprised that we're open, and they buy a little bit of wine. So yeah, it's been great. No complaints at all about the retail side of things.
And do you want to give a plug for your son, who's a star football quarterback here in town?
Well, we made the quarterfinals, and we play up in Silverdale against Clallam Bay, and go Jaguars.
That's the Tri-Cities Prep, right?
Right, Tri-Cities Prep Jaguars.
And he's thrown a lot of passes, completed a lot of passes, and just a sophomore.
Yeah, he's had a great year. He's got great teammates, and Coach Whitsitt and his staff do a great job of the scheme that they're working under and using the personnel they have to do the best that they can to make things happen. If you look at last year, we were with Joe Campbell strictly a running team. Things changed around a little bit, so that's a testament to Coach Whitsitt and his staff and what they can do with the young man. So it's fun, having fun as a parent watching it all happen.
Did he get his athletic ability from you or from his mother?
Well, Andy, it's a loaded question, and I'm going to say he got his height from his mother. Let's just say that, but athletic ability, a lot of it from the Hoppe side. Let's just say that.
Okay, very good. Well, thanks, Charlie.
Thanks, Andy.